Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Mary Sweeney. I am thrilled to be the presenter here for you. And just a little housekeeping. Um, we can't seem to find the chat button on here for whatever reason. So if you have questions along the way, feel free to raise your hand, do the little hand button, and I will try and stop. There are some points that I'll stop along the way that you can ask questions, and then at the end we should have it built in as well. But Dennis will be my monitor a bit from the Diocese of Lincoln, and you can stop me, Dennis, if there's pressing questions that we need to get answered. So. All right. With that said, we will get going. Today, like they say at the beginning of flights, we are on a presentation focused on marketing your giving day. If this is not your destination, you might want to hop off now. Um, so this is my family. I am the owner and operator of Mary Catherine Marketing. I have three boys, and my husband is a fourth grade teacher at St. John's here in Lincoln. And what started out just as a small side gig has really grown as a passion project, as well as I kind of like to see it sometimes even as a ministry, where just being able to help people like you tell your story. I've worked in the areas of marketing, fundraising, nonprofits for my entire career of 25 plus years. My business specifically focuses on working with nonprofits. We have a large section of Catholic organizations we work with, as well as my son. If you can see there on the right side, he has Down syndrome and autism. So I work with a lot of special needs groups and then small businesses as well. But we have worked with people as small as just a single person to large organizations on giving days, campaigns. My favorite piece about this is really just helping you get your story told and out there. So before we get going, though, let's talk to Jesus and ask for our newest saint here, Saint Carlo Acutis, who himself was a marketer, just to pray with us and to offer this up. So feel free to say the prayer along with me. I know it's going to be weird echoes all along, but would love to have you all together with me in this. So, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather together in service of your church. As we prepare for the Nebraska Catholic Day of Giving, help us to share our mission with clarity, confidence, and joy. We ask for the intercession of St. Carlo Acutis, who used his gifts to share the faith with others, that we may use the tools before us to do the same. Guide our words, our work, and our outreach so that all we do may bring others closer to you. Amen. St. Carlo Acutis, pray for us. All right. So in today's webinar, what we're going to be going over is helping you just to get some simple ideas and understanding on how to market your giving day that you'll be able to use over and over again. And the benefit, if you want to cheer along with this lady, is you don't have to be a professional marketer to be successful in this. So many of these pieces are done already. So we're going to go through today a simple three-step approach on how to lay all this out, where to find everything you need, which is on the Nebraska Catholic Day Giving website. I'll kind of walk you through that. And then how to quickly customize these materials. And then we'll discuss at the very end what works and what doesn't. So I'm going to breeze through some of these, the three-step approach and this a little bit quickly in the review of where things are so that we have time in the end to dive more into like how to use these pieces. But if at any point along the way you need me to stop or to clarify anything, just take yourself off mute, interrupt me. That's totally okay. Sound good? We all good? Thumbs
Yeah.
up? Awesome. Okay. Let's get going then. So the first step, we're going to work on these first three steps, and this is just going to help you with having a successful campaign. And that is having a plan. Everything successful starts with a plan. Even God wouldn't let Noah start building an ark without a plan. So why do we think as marketers we can just shot in the dark? Let's get things out there. So we need to have a plan here. We need to set a clear goal, which, best news ever, there's materials on the website on how to do that. We're going to follow a simple timeline. Also, materials on the website on how to do that. And then there's a toolkit of all of these resources available for you. So the I Give Catholic folks have really made this as easy as possible for you, just to help you walk through everything. Last year, I'll just say as a side note, I came in to start working with Dennis, and we came in about halfway through and saw the stuff on the website. We didn't have all the emails ahead of time. So I created so many things for the Diocese of Lincoln that then come to find out they were all there. So we went back this year and we've just been using many of the resources that I Give Catholic already created for the organizations that we're helping support through the Diocese of Lincoln. So me, even as a professional marketer, I'm using these resources and they're great materials. So the first piece here is what makes a strong goal? We need something specific. We need to make sure it's realistic and it's motivating. So specific being the dollar amount, the number of donors, realistic. Can you actually achieve this? Like if you only raised $700 last year, maybe asking for $1 million goal might not be within your bandwidth. And motivating. Are people going to connect to this? Is this connected to what you're trying to do? If you're part of like a school family association and you're trying to raise money for a new playground, very connected to the impact you're going to make. You help students. So these are some examples. We want to raise $10,000 for tuition assistance, reach 75 donors, fund five scholarships. So those are examples of some good goals. These are the resources that are here available on the resources page of the Nebraska Catholic Day website. Let me real quick, I'm just going to pull this up so you can see. This is the goal setting guide. Can you see the goal setting guide here? Okay, so it's 9 pages long. Don't feel like you have to go through all of this, but these are some really good pieces that are here to help you to be able to successfully manage this campaign. So let me get this going again. And okay, so this document will help you define your goal amount. Again, the example there, 100 new donors, $10,000 raised. It's going to define your target audience. So this gets to like Larry's question at the very beginning, if anywhere on there. Your target audience here is going to be who you're communicating to. So if you're communicating through this platform, which is more digital, thinking of a younger audience here, you might want to frame your messaging around that and who is that target audience. So again, back to that idea of the playground, the parents, the family members of school students, that might be a great audience there. If you're looking for support for like a men's basketball team, you might not need to be focusing on the parents of school students, but on the men of your parish. So keeping that in mind when you're trying to understand who am I communicating with and where do I find those email addresses or those social media names, the handles the places they might be. And finally, what is the purpose? Make sure that you understand all of these things, that they are clearly defined for you, because the clearer your goals are, the more effective and easily understandable your messaging will be. And if they can understand what you are looking for, the more likely they are to give. So that is the focus on goals. Question on goals? Nope. Okay, let's keep moving then. The next section here is on your timeline. So now we know what the plan is. We know the direction we're trying to go towards, the mountain we're going to be scaling. How are we going to do this? At what points are we going to share a message? What are we going to tell them? When do we do this? And the benefit here is there is already a timeline created for you. There's no guesswork needed. This timeline will help you, like I said, tell you what to do and when to do it. So this is the timeline that you can see here. I will quick just pull it up for you. It's very small here. Um, it walks through everything from 6 weeks out, which was last Monday, 5 weeks out. I'm going to say that even from a marketing standpoint, this can look daunting. Use this as a guide. Maybe walk through here and pick your top 2 to 3 things for each one of these weeks that you can focus on, that you feel comfortable focusing on. And maybe, like Larry say, for yours, if you were focusing on a younger audience, that maybe social media and email is the direction you want to go with this. Maybe you don't need as many print materials to send out, or vice versa. If you think retired folks are going to be your largest donors in the direction you want to go, you might want to make sure that you supplement some of these pieces with some print materials. So all of this is in here. This again is on the website. Um, and that is the timeline that will help to guide you along the way. It basically takes you through these phases where that's how you can think of this timeline as well. That 4 to 6 weeks out, this is where you're going to be making sure your website is set up, everything is created, telling people save the dates. The 1 to 3 weeks out, you're building that momentum, letting them know, hey, this is coming up. Then you have your giving week. Like, this is the moment. This is when we're going to put out a lot of social media. This is when we're going to make sure that there's emails going out. And I always tell folks that when it comes to these sorts of campaigns, when you finally feel like you've maybe communicated like too much and you might be overloading people for a campaign like this, that is when you've probably just hit your sweet spot because you have to think all of these other folks are also sending out all of these emails. So you want to make sure that your emails, your social media posts continue to be front and center in front of them. And then after giving, the biggest, most important step is thanking them. And the benefit also of this new platform, if you joined last week's or a couple weeks ago presentation from I Give Catholic, this gives you an opportunity for year-round giving. So you can continue to communicate with these people all year round, not just for this giving day. So that's really exciting. So timeline takeaway in all of this, just keep it simple, making sure that you're consistent. And that's what I tell anybody that I ever work with is that consistency. If we just send out one email here or social media post and then over here, it doesn't generate anything. And I can attest one of the groups that we specifically help is the Good Shepherd Scholarship here in the Diocese of Lincoln. And in the past, that's what they had done, just maybe one or two posts, and they maybe raised like $800 to 1,000 or so. And then when we started having some consistent communication leading up to it and then all year round, they more than doubled the amount that they were bringing in. So I'm not saying that everyone is going to see huge doubling results, but I will say if you put the effort in to maintain consistent communication, it does pay off. Next is moving on to the toolkit. And so these again are all of the resources that are available on the website for you, and we're going to walk through those. The purpose of this is to help reduce that overwhelming feeling that you might get when you're seeing the timeline, you're seeing these goals, and what do I do? This is where it's going to be easy for you. This is the fun part. This is where all the pieces are just waiting for you to use them. So in here, everything is ready. On the website, when we go through it later, you'll see if all you want to do is just download all the pieces that are ready to go for you, they're ready to go. You don't have to change anything. If you want to get a little more creative, there's templates that you can open up within Canva, which is a digital design platform, very easy to use. And those pieces are there that you can use and update them just for your organization. There are sample emails in there. There's sample social media posts. There are captions that you can use, like I talked about the graphics, and there's messaging. There's like pulpit announcements in there. There's bulletin announcements. So they really make it as easy as possible for you to drag and drop, copy and paste, send it on to the people that you need to get this out to. So again, it's right there on the resources section of the Nebraska Catholic Giving Day page. So when you go on, it'll look like this. This will be your website, and you focus in on that circled area where it says resources, and that's going to be where you'll find this marketing toolkit with all the pieces in there. And it's in both English and Spanish, which is very exciting. Oh, and there are trainings as well. And these downloads that are there, these are downloads as in like the goal sheet that was there, this marketing toolkit, the trainings. If you missed that presentation on how to get your site, your website set up, your platform, that one was done, I think, on the 19th. That's on there. This will be recorded, and then Katie from I Give Catholic will add this on there. So all of those pieces are there for you, available. And there's like next level ideas. So if you're thinking at looking at this, thinking like, I'm already doing this. There's next steps where it talks about how you can maybe add a match to it, or you can use a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. So there's a lot of tools on there. Biggest takeaway here, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's use what's already out there and focus on showing up and doing it consistently. Consistently. Any questions about this part? Okay, so the biggest mind shift I think that you need to have, that we all need to have in Nebraska Catholic Day of Giving is we are not needing to create. We're simply customizing, especially if we're going to take these pieces and make them our own. All we're doing is swapping out our logo, we're updating our goal, we're adding our specific link, and it's done. So let's go for a quick tour right now on where you can find these pieces. And then after that, I will take you on a little bit of a, not a deep dive, but kind of a shallow dive into how to use the pieces within Canva. Okay, so this is the Nebraska Catholic Day of Giving website. And I pulled up these other pages just in case. Sometimes when I'm on Zoom, it takes forever to load pages. So you get onto this page wherever you are, and you can go up to For Ministries, and Resources is going to be your main section that you will find all of these pieces. That is, yes. Okay. So that's where you'll find these trainings that I talked about. Here's the recording. This is where it says the slides and the recording for this presentation will be there. These are those downloads. So when I showed you the goal setting guide, you can get that here. The marketing toolkit, the timeline walks you through everything. Um, these are the ready-made graphics that I was talking about. So if you're overwhelmed by the idea of making it on your own, these are all set here for you. They're all ready to go. There's logos available. And here, like it says, if you just want to use all of the pieces, all the ready-to-go templates, they are available. It's a Google Doc, I mean, or a Google folder. It pulls up everything. So you can see like they are right here. There's nothing that I need to do with any of these. Um, we'll go down here. And then this is that stuff that I was saying. If you want to take it to the next level, there's instructions here on how you can set up a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign, which would be me giving to, we'll say Catholic Social Services. And then I feel so motivated by giving to Catholic Social Services that now I'm going to set up a platform for myself to say, hey, everybody, like my birthday's coming up. Will you donate $50 for my birthday to give to Catholic Social Services? That's peer-to-peer fundraising. So it's someone else asking for funding on your behalf. So that would be an idea to do. The matches in that last presentation that Katie talked about, she couldn't emphasize enough the benefit of matches. I will second that. I think they're very motivating for people. It could be as easy as looking at last year's list of who donated and saying, Dennis, you gave $1,000 last year. Would you mind if we said your $1,000 donation that you make every year, could we use that as a match? And then all of your language in there can say, and up to $1,000 will be matched by Dennis, dollar for dollar. So that's a lot of the pieces that are there on how you can take this to the next step. I want to show you quick the graphics. So now we're in this, when we were over here for ministries, we jumped into the graphics tab. So this is when we're going to dive into the Canva stuff. Before I do that, are there any other questions though on like where you can find stuff on the website? Is it confusing? Are we feeling good? I see
Yeah,
Dennis, Larry, Nick, and Jeb are the main people staring at me, and so I feel like I'm not getting any head nods or shakes. So I think we're good.
well, I
Okay.
think I think in my particular case, it's determining what I do with this versus what I've already done,
Mm-hmm.
with my own fundraising. And there's some transparency between the people that I asked to donate and the people who are already donating. And so because you have 11 parishes, those parishes each have their own donations individually, like St. John's. Uh,
Right.
but as a president, I raise money too that goes back to them,
Right.
uh, and I did very well with that this year. And it was a letter writing campaign, is
Mm-hmm.
all it was. And so I'm trying to disseminate in my mind, who am I going after with the Catholic Giving Day? Or am I transparent? Am I asking for the same people to donate again?
That's a really good question there. And I actually brought that up to the I Give Catholic folks when they did a presentation for us on there, because that's a question that we get a lot from organizations that, like, how is this not competing with our, like in Lincoln, the charity and stewardship campaign is often going on at the same time, which is like what you're talking about. It's like a paper, it's an appeal, it's a pledge. Is this the same audience? Are we robbing Peter to pay Paul sort of thing? And what I've found and what they shared and confirmed is that oftentimes, well, I'll say first, any one person typically funds at least five organizations. So this like scarcity mindset that we have sometimes of like, uh-oh, like Dennis and Mary and Larry are all competing for these same funds. Like any normal donor is going to support five or more organizations. So we're not in competition. If we're all sharing the same message, we're all helping to advance, more Christ-like work throughout the whole diocese. To your question too, Larry, about the audience, typically what we find is that this audience that you'll find when you send out emails or you do a social media campaign tends to be the audience that you're not already capturing with like a letter writing appeal. So mail is not dead. I am the first to say I help people write appeal letters and I think they are very effective. This is just capturing a different channel of communication. And that is what I think is the most important piece of this is understanding we talk about this at the very end too, that there are like channels of communication. We want to be touching all of them. And so I think you'll find in here that you will ultimately start to find that the audiences will be a little bit different. There might be some crossover to begin with. And if there is some crossover, it might be like people like me that have been filling out your form and sending in a check every day or every year that you send it out. And my husband at the same time is like, do people even use checks anymore? And I say yes. But once given the opportunity to give online, you better believe it. If I can just autofill it and go, then now I might not give to your appeal anymore of the letter that you send out, but I'm giving online. So you'll kind of start to see that happen too.
I'm more interested in contacting people that are non-Catholic.
Yep, that would be great too. This is a great way to do that because you can cast a really wide net. So why don't I keep doing the deep dive I'll show you how to use your Canva templates, and then at the end, we're going to talk about some best practices. Any other questions? Okay. So this is where you can find these graphics if you want to customize them for yourself. So again, don't feel like you have to, but it gives you a great base and you can make them your own. So you'll see it'll go through a lot of these pieces that were already there in the document that are ready to go. So if you want to just download this in English or in Spanish, it's ready. If you want to turn it into your own version of it, then you can download the template. So the template is going to open up and it's going to say template created by I Give Catholic was shared with you. Start designing now. I'm going to say yes. I want to view the template. And it will say if you don't have, am I okay? If you don't have a account already with Canva, this will be the point where it will ask you to create an account. If you do, it's going to say this, like, do you want to open this in editor? Yours likely won't say switch team, so you can disregard that part. I work on multiple teams, so we'll open it in the editor. And then here it is. So what we can do in here now is this is my template. If you've ever been in Canva, can everybody see? Let me see if I make this a little bigger. I have an enormous screen over here, so sometimes I forget that it might not be as big for you. Oops. Okay, so what we can do in here now, this is mine. This is fully customizable by me. You can see there's different options too. Here is this picture. This is the Spanish version of that. This is another one, a join us, a different message. Spanish version, save the date, and the Spanish version. So what we're going to say, and my recommendation is for branding, I would keep Nebraska Catholic Day of Giving on there because it tells folks what this is about. But you can go over and you can add your logo. So you can go to this uploads here and upload a file. And I'm going to pick my logo out of here and I want to add my colored logo. So I'm going to upload it and then I click on it and there's my logo. And then it's just drag and drop wherever you want it to go. So I'm going to move this text up here. These are all text boxes. So when you hover over them, you can just pick them up, move them wherever you want. And I can put this in here. If I want to add more text, if I'm like, ooh, okay, give back Wednesday, May 6th, and I want to add some more text in here, I'm going to say add a text box. And here's my little tiny text box. So first, if I want it bigger, I grab that. Then I can move it down here and I can say support our organization. And here, I'm going to just show you, I want them to know that this is my organization. So I'm going to make a little arrow, add it in. You can search for all these things. This could be a whole class, you guys. I could just like, this is where I can geek out on things.
And that's where I need a
Um,
lot of help, Mary.
yes. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to show anybody. I'm also happy if people are like, "Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Just do it for me." We help people like that all the time.
Mhm.
And I don't want this to sound like I'm shamelessly plugging me. I would love to help you, but there are many people like me, consultants all across the state that will do this for you. There may be volunteers too. So just know there is help and assistance if this is confusing for you. So there. Now I have everything I updated. I wanted to add my copy in here. I wanted to make sure my logo was in here. And you know what? I think I want to switch this picture really quick. So I'm going to go to
I like that picture though.
I do too. But I have a picture over here. Um, we're gonna do this is I don't even know. We're gonna find one because maybe it's about people with Down syndrome, like a Catholic group for people with special needs. So, whoops. You can either click on it, it goes in here, or if you drag it over, sometimes it'll get confused. Okay, didn't want to do that. We'll drag it there. You see how it kind of popped in? So I can click on it, double click it, and move it over like this. I can make this part bigger to cut out that stuff. And there. Now you have me and my son from like 7 years ago, and now we're in the picture there. And maybe I don't want this green anymore, so I'm going to go up here and change this color to pink. Okay, and you're ready to go.
Someone who does this all the time, that's fine. But I would have to have a whole nother lesson on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more just showing you that it can be done. These
Okay,
things
all right.
can be customized. Or if you like it the way it was, those other pieces are all ready for you. So then if you want to use just this piece, you can go over to share and download, and you'll see the PNG is a great option if you're going to use it digitally. You can do that. It's ready to go. You can select which pages. I just want the current page I'm on. And if I want to change this, I can also change it to just be a PDF, which you could email to people. I could get it ready if I want to print this. So there's all different ways to do this in here. And then download. So then here I have it downloaded and this is my image ready to go here. And if you want me to take it a step further, I could show you maybe later on just dropping it into um, like into social media, but now that's ready as a picture. You can either just drop it, like I said, onto a social media page. You could put it in an e-newsletter. You can send it out. Um, if you do any sort of like digital bulletin communications, you could send it as a picture that goes along with that too.
So I could put the give back in my organizational picture in the Give to Lincoln Day, right?
Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah, and this was just one design. So this is like and you'll see these are all titled. So this would be if you've heard of stories like on Instagram or Facebook, these are formatted for that. They're those taller, more rectangular pictures. If you just want something to go as a regular post on Instagram or Facebook like a square, these ones are there. The same thing, like here's a save the date. This is more of just the ministry part. So this is a great example of this would be an easy one um, for you, Larry. Like these ones are ready to go here. But if you wanted to update, let's see if I can make that bigger for you all to see.
Well,
If you wanted,
I like to give back because it opens up a whole nother uh, venue, you know, as far as people that you might want to bring
yes.
in. That might be a lot of young people.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and so I'm looking for a way to bring in more people than just the people that are a part of my organization. So, and
Yes.
so, but, uh, but I guess, you know, from what you're talking about is you're talking about advertising on we have a website,
Uh-huh.
but, and advertising that website's there, but of course they can go into Gift Lincoln Day and find out most of the things that they find out in the things that I put in there. Uh, you might look at my, you know, what I have and see, you know, what under it's under it's all set up under Society of St. Vincent de Paul Lincoln, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, so that's you know that my objective. Obviously, you know when we had the thing that replaced the Gift Lincoln Day, where we had Lincoln Give Day, I was able to do radio advertising, and I was able to do and catch more people that were not Catholic, and so
Yes.
that was obviously a benefit. And this way, I'm capturing some of the people that have already given, or you know, so that's what I'm looking for is something
Mm-hmm.
beyond, you know, what I'm already doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say on all of these, as a piece of this, I don't talk about this in the rest of my presentation, but to get to that larger audience, the benefit of social media is that I'm going to share it on my page. And then because of the algorithm that Facebook and Instagram and all of those have set up, there is a certain amount of people that follow me that will see those things. Now, if I share it on my page and I ask specifically these members of my board, will you go? I just put this on my page. Now, will you go share it on your pages too? Now we've just exponentially increased the amount of people that are seeing it. And the algorithm loves that you created something that more people are sharing. So it's more likely to put it on other people's screens. So in all of this, in all of your messaging, I would make sure that in addition to anything you might be putting out in social media, especially social media, you kind of have a team of influencers, if you will, that are helping to like and share what you're putting out there. So these are the different resources that you can see on the page over here. They're all different themes. They're ready to go for you. Any other questions on how to like use Canva and like things that might be tripping you up? There's email banners that would be good to use in email. Okay, then let me jump over. Let me go back to the presentation here. And we're going to just talk about some best practices here at the end that will help you understand just what kind of the messaging and the direction we want these to all go. So the other thing I did forget to mention that any of those pieces in Canva, if you need help with, let me know because they can all also be resized. Like, say you really like the design that was for the story, but you don't want to put it on your story, you want to put it in a square. Let me know if you need suggestions or need help on understanding how to do that. They can all be resized. If you like one design and then you want to use it throughout, you can duplicate them into different ones very easily. So I'm happy to be a Canva tutorial here for you. Um, okay,
I
so
think this that probably it would be maybe a good idea, not using these other guys as a time, is to contact you directly so that I can kind
yep. Yeah. And I have
of.
I'll have my contact pages or my contact information at the end here. The big takeaway on this though is that you guys can do this. You know, if you're familiar with PowerPoint, a lot of this is drag and drop just like that, adding in text boxes. That seems to be a program that a lot of people are used to. I always tell people also, like, if you can make a photo album from Shutterfly or something like that, you can do that on here too. Okay, so let's turn now to some of the do's and don'ts on how do we make sure that the messaging gets out there? What do we want to make sure we do? And what do we want to make sure we don't do? So here is what works best. We're going to keep it simple. Sometimes I am often guilty of writing like an entire Bible of ideas out on Facebook and sharing so much and it gets lost. Really, in this, your messaging, keep it simple, make your message clear and direct, help them understand exactly what you want them to do with a clear call to action and how they can do it and the impact it's going to make. Keep in mind, people want to give to people. So just putting words up there that says, help St. Vincent de Paul might not resonate as much as if you show, obviously with permission, like a family that you've been helping, or you can showcase, like, there's a lot of stock photos in Canva that you can pick from as well. You could showcase somebody like a mom that looks like she's in need and she's pregnant and, having those images of people connecting with people, and that it's not just a computer, especially if you put stuff out on social media or email, respond. Don't post and ghost. Like if you put a message out and someone says, that's awesome, how can I give? Respond to them right away. Keep everything short and clear, like I talked about. No need for long essays, just a call to action. And specifically in this, I do an entire presentation on this. Make your donor the subject of your writing. So, not like, we need help at Catholic Social Services to help us do this so we can do more work. I would switch that and say, like, you can make an impact in the life of someone struggling with homelessness with your donation. So make them the hero, make them the subject so they can feel themselves, they can see themselves right there making the difference. And once you get that messaging, keep repeating it. Make sure that it's going out several times. Make sure that you're using email and social media together and not just one channel. So that gets back to your ideal area of where I tell folks, like, if you have the budget, if you have the capacity, do email, do social media, and maybe put out a postcard and let people know. Because there are people that still don't do social media, but they check their email all the time. There are people who are the opposite that are doing social media and they never touch their email. And then there's still the people that are like, I never catch up on any of that. But if I have a postcard that comes in the mail, I'll put it up on my bulletin board and I'll remember. In all of that, though, just getting your message out is better than nothing. So, with any of these details that I'm sharing, just making sure that you're communicating and letting them know you need their help and this is how they can help is better than sitting on it altogether. So, the don'ts of this is basically the opposites of these. So, don't do the opposites of these. Okay. Always include in every post or email your goal. We want to raise money for the Good Shepherd Scholarship. If you can narrow it down to say we are focusing on raising $15,000 for the Good Shepherd Scholarship, include your direct link, ideally. If you need to push them just to the main page and tell them to search for your organization, you can do that. But if you can include your direct link in the caption, that is the best so they can click and they go directly to you. And why it matters. What is the impact you're making? A few other things to keep in mind here to help your life be a little easier, some pro tips. There's a lot of tools out there that allow for these to just be scheduled. So maybe you have a volunteer that says, I can customize all of these for you, Larry. I'll customize them and then they can schedule them and then it's done. And they'll just go out when it's time for them to go out. And all you have to do is tell your board, hey, there's social media posts going out on this date, this date, this date. Look on our social media page and share it when it's there. If you want to get a little more into the weeds, a lot of those tools like Meta Business Suite or Canva or Flocknote, which can schedule, they'll give you metrics afterwards so you can know, did this work? Did people open my email? Did they look at my social media post? If it worked, awesome, let's keep doing it. If it didn't, maybe we adjust. Finally, a little tip here, robots have yet to take over yet the world. So if you can lean on tools like GPT or Copilot to help you create some of these captions, that's okay. Like they do always, always 1,000% always read what you put out there first. Don't just copy and paste. But it can be a valuable tool if you're like, I don't know what to say. That can help you just to come up with some language. So these are some examples of pieces that we put together. So this is one that we did last year for the Good Shepherd Scholarship Fund. You'll see there is a link in there. We talk about advanced giving opens today. Every child deserves the opportunity. Your gift helps students grow academically, so they're seeing exactly how they're helping. And the goal is we need you to help. You need to get involved. Early giving starts today. We did some other language too, letting them know like it's 1 week away. This is more than education. It's a foundation in faith. Join us for making Catholic education affordable. Give today and thanking people. And finally, at the very end, sending out a thank you is probably one of the most important things to ensure that they continue to come back. We need to start viewing our, and I say we because I need to work on this too, but our donors are going to be like our investors. We wouldn't walk into, a venture capitalist and just say like, we need help. We would have a plan laid out. We would show them exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to communicate it. These are the goals we're shooting for, and this is what we're going to do to make sure that we maintain this relationship throughout the year and let you know the impact that your investment is making. And that's how we need to view donors too. Thanking them, letting them know they see the impact or that they can see the impact, less of a like cha-ching, cha-ching, not an ATM machine. We want to communicate with them as we go on. So to summarize, we talked about the three-step approach. So we're going to first start, set a clear goal. We're going to follow the timeline. We're going to use the toolkit. On the Nebraska Catholic Giving Day page, there are all of the resources that you need there. How I showed you how you can quickly customize those materials using those Canva templates that are there, or the ready-made materials are all ready for you and you can download them and send them out. You don't even need to change it if you don't want to. Just don't reinvent the wheel. Understand now what works. You understand now what works, what doesn't, how we want to maintain communication with them. And so remember, you have everything you need. We just need to set that goal, follow your timeline, use the templates. Your story does matter. People need to hear what you are doing. They want to support you in this. I always tell folks, think of this as your opportunity to tell that story to like my mom who just had a big back surgery, who's laid up at home, who would love to be able to walk and get out there and help with the sidewalk advocacy and the new moms that are scared about having their babies and they're out of wedlock. She would love to do that, but she can't even walk right now. This campaign, them being able to donate to you, lets them feel like they're part of that mission, lets them be able to do that. Or somebody like me that's scared to evangelize, yes, I will give money to help you, Seth, in your prison ministry because that's not my gift, but I can help evangelize that way by supporting you. All we need to do is just show up and make sure we ask them for that support, show them how they can do that. So you've got this. I know you can do this. This is my contact information if you need anything. I'm here to help along the way. Send me an email there. You can give me a call. Dennis can help with questions on the registration side of things. I do want to make sure that I share again, the deadline for registration is April 6th. And we're going to send out an email, at least in the Lincoln, for the Lincoln Diocese members. I know we're going to send out an email coming up soon with a list of those folks that we do have registered already. So if you registered last year, just as a reminder, that does not mean that you are registered this year. You still need to go in and register your organization for this year's campaign because it's a new platform. So if you have questions about that, let me know. Reach out to the I Give Catholic folks too. Katie Haar is our contact there. I can help you in contact with them, but make sure that you go through all of that before April 6th. It does take a little bit to get set up and to make sure you're appropriately approved on all the different points. So don't wait till the day of to get it all done. Start now if you can. Okay. Any other questions?
I'd
It's
like
almost
I'd
pretty
like to
easy.
talk to you individually about this,
Okay,
about something that I think you could help me with.
for
Uh,
sure.
so I can either call you or you could call me.
Okay, yeah. Feel free, give me a call. Do you have my number there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah.
202-0193.
You got it. Yep. Yeah, give me a call and we'll discuss.
Okay, thanks. Nice to see you
Okay.
again.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
Anybody else?
No, but thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's fun to be able to talk about marketing with people, and especially for an event like this.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Okay.
Mary, I would just say one thing real quick before everybody leaves.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are fully registered by April 6th. A lot of times, if your EFT plan is not set up, you're not fully registered. If you don't have your logo and your banner and your about section done, you're not fully registered. So you can't begin receiving donations until all that to-do list that's on the registration is complete. So I see the list, and a lot of people might be 25% done or 75% done. If you have a question, give me a call, and I will try to look on the list and see if you are completely done. So
I was going to sign in really quick just to my account to show you. So here I signed in and I thought I signed in. Now it's okay. Yeah. So it's showing me, like, for example, Good Shepherd is one of them that I host and manage that I help with. So I can go in here and I can look through, is it overview? Your organization is registered. So right up here, it should tell you, like if you have a green check mark, you're good to go. If you don't have this, or if you're like, there's no way I can even sign in, that means you haven't registered yet. So you need to do that part. Um, and then you can go through and set up your page, and there's all the different pieces in here to get it going. But like I said, it does take a little bit to make sure that all of those checks are there so that you get this one green check mark here. Okay. Well, if nobody else has anything, I will let you all go and give you back 9 minutes and enjoy your Holy Week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank
thanks,
you.
Mary.
Yeah, you guys take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
As well. Thank you.